So let me tell you more about my buddy Achilles here. Right? Because my eyes don't work. So I use my ears. I listen to the traffic. And when I hear that the traffic has stopped, I say, Achilles, forward. And I have to say it like in a deep voice, because that's what the kind of voice the dogs like to hear. They know when it's a deep voice, it's a command. It's time for action. So I say, Achilles, forward. And you know what's funny? A lot of people don't know this. A lot of adults don't know this. I'm going to tell you guys that you'll be way ahead of everybody. Dogs do not read traffic. Like, he's not going to know, you know, is it safe, is it not safe? Of course, if there's a big truck coming, he's trained not to step in front of the truck. That's where his guide work comes in. But it's like a teamwork. We're like a team. It's like 50% him, and half me. So if I tell him to go when it's not safe, then we're going to be in trouble. That's why sometimes when it's not clear to me just by listening, you know, because listening can sometimes not be so helpful, then I have to ask people. And that's actually been one of the hardest things about being blind for me, is learning how to just open up and ask people for help. I mean, I think when I was your age, maybe it was easier. But the thing about getting older, the older you get, the more people like to think, oh, you know, I know that, I know that, I know that. And then it's like, and then there's no room to listen to what other people have to say, or to help, to get the help that they want to give you. And I want to hear your questions. Any questions you ever wanted to ask a guy with a dog?
Matthew, how does it feel to be blind?
How does it feel? Well, it's a good question, and that's what I'm trying to kind of show you. Like, sometimes it can be really hard, and sometimes it can be really easy. It's just like your experience. You know how, like, if I asked you, how does it feel to be a third grader? What would you say?
What would you say, Matthew?
What would you say, Matthew? What would you say? How does it feel to be a third grader?
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so I would, so I'd probably say, yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse?
How do you eat?
How do I eat?
Good question.
That is a good question. I use silverware just like you do, and sometimes if I don't know quite where the thing is on my plate, I use a finger.
Yep, go ahead.
What kind of dog is Achilles?
Oh, that's a good question. Achilles is a Labrador Retriever. Did anyone here ever see the movie Marley and Me?
Yeah.
Yeah? So that's the same type of dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
How do you brush your teeth?
I brush my teeth.
did you guys try that last night?
Yeah.
I told them to possibly, Matt, I told them go home and try some things, with
That's
your
a
eyes
great
closed
idea.
and see how it works out. I don't know what their parents thought of that assignment, but yeah.
Did he try?
Did you try it, Jonathan?
He brushed your
No.
forehead. He said he
He
brushed
brushed his forehead.
You brush your forehead.
You actually, I think you can.
You know what? That was something I had to figure out after I became blind. I had to figure out, how the heck am I going to brush my teeth? That was a really good question. And the hardest part about it was getting the toothpaste, just the right amount of toothpaste on the brush, right? Like, I could find my mouth pretty easy. The mouth is pretty easy to find. It's pretty big,
Didn't we talk about that, you guys? That you might go and it would go all over the place.
So the toothpaste, that was the tricky part. So what I do is I just squeeze until I think it's on there, and then I stick the toothbrush in my mouth. And then by my mouth, I can feel how much toothpaste is on there. If I put too much on, I just take some off. Or I add a little bit more. That's my process.
Pardosa, you have a question? When did you get the
When
dog?
did I get my dog? I got my dog about 3 years ago. Yeah, he's now 4 years old.
Diego.
How do you guys look at the store?
That's a great question, Diego. Thanks for that. You know what I do?
Cassandra, sit back, please.
I don't. I ask people for help. The second I get in the store, I request Usually someone who works at the store to help me find what I'm looking for. Because you're right, there's no way I can find it on my own. I'd be there for hours, you know, like touching stuff on the shelves, trying to figure out what it is.
Rain, how do you play the guitar? Great question.
Yeah. The guitar is great because, believe it or not, it really doesn't require a lot of vision, a lot of sight. It really when you play guitar, most people who get pretty good, they use their hands and they use their ears. That's the most important parts about playing guitar, hands and ears.
Thank